general outlook will largely be dominated by the influence of the lingering effects of the big snowstorm which hit many areas of the northern plains this past week. Cool weather over that snow, and how long will that linger? How much of an effect will that have on the surrounding area, as I do anticipate a general warming pattern in the midsection of the country. Before we put these maps into animation, a word about the huge snowstorm in North Dakota, southern Manitoba, northwestern South Dakota, eastern Montana. This type of an outlook is usually pretty good at indicating future patterns and wet patterns and dry patterns and that sort of thing. One thing I can't do is a week or 2 weeks or even half a week in advance is know just how monstrous a storm like the one that hit North Dakota last week can turn out to be. One thing we can say is that with all that snow on the ground, it's going to take some time to warm things up again. Melting snow takes a lot of energy out of the atmosphere, and that's going to keep a lot of North Dakota cold. Not only that, we're continue getting a fairly active weather pattern. So it will remain cold to cool across the northern U.S. and seasonably warm in the south. The desert southwest, South Texas are getting typically warm, but as we start seeing ridging building up in the midsection of the country around the middle of this week, that warm weather will start coming northward, but it will do so over a snowpack. Now, by the end of the week, I do expect that the sub-freezing air will have vacated North Dakota. However, it will remain cool as we try to melt all that snow. That's as fairly hot weather. Temperatures in the 80s and even some 90s work their way up to about the southern limit of that snowpack, and that's about as far as it will get. The cool weather will win out because you have to melt the snow, but a fairly warm week and into the week setting up. Now, as we look ahead into the second week, this ridge of high pressure will shift a little bit east, but the general trend of the jet is forecast to be kind of expanding in its ridge across most of the United States. There will be one little system passing through, looks like a fairly weak one, so it looks like pretty warm weather and even enough warmth that over the next week or so, we should melt most of that snow that fell in North Dakota. Additional precipitation early in this week, Easter Sunday into Monday, and then again around midweek there will be a couple of chances of rain and then rain mixing with snow, with showers to the south. The southwest will continue to be dry. Looking into the second week of this forecast period, I see generally a drier pattern underneath all that warmth in the United States to the south. We will likely have some precipitation into the northern plains over the second week and the Great Lakes area, but it would be mostly in the form of light rain and not a lot of organized heavy precipitation. The far Pacific Northwest will be getting some precip. The Southwest, for the most part, will not. So the general trends continue to be the lingering effects of all that snow.